Most people think Navy Federal is just generous, and the truth is that they're structured. And once you understand how they decide who to trust, approvals start to make sense. So I'm going to take from my notes four levels of trust that Navy Federal goes through to determine who gets maximum access to their resources so you can maximize this relationship in a time so crucial when ownership is everything. You need to build the financials necessary to make sure that you can own all of the necessary assets, tools, and resources to have control in your life. People have been leveraging the banking system for decades to build wealth, and it's time for you to learn how to do the same. So I'm going to get in my notes. I'm going to give you these four levels to help break down how Navy Federal tiers its trust level with clients and members so you can climb that ladder and get maximum access. And I'm going to give you some additional context towards the backside of the video, so make sure you stay locked in. Let's dive right into level number one for members. So the first level that Navy Federal is assessing the relationship at is going to be the member access level, basic, right? Checking account, direct deposit, bill pay. This is going to be standard. My money's coming in, my account's set up, money's coming in, and my major bills are getting paid. Maybe I'm using a digital platform to get it done. Base level, nothing wrong with it, but this is where a lot of members stay forever. This is the parking place for probably 60, 70, 80% of members. They get in, get their basics met, and that's a wrap until they have an emergency or some kind of urgent opportunity. And then they want maximum access overnight, and you can't get it from this level. So let's keep going. Level two is going to be behavioral trust. What does that look like? Consistent deposits, low risk behavior, predictable balances. This is where the internal score starts to form. Now you have enough activity in and out of the account. You're using a little bit more tools. You're transacting on a heavy enough level to pick up a rhythm or a pace of how low or high risk your behavior might be, how predictable your balances, your inflows, your outflows. Do you have money left over every month? Navy Federal is starting to get a gauge for how you're operating and your behaviors. And this is where they start to determine an actual internal score. So this is where it gets interesting. Level three is going to be relationship trust. This is where it starts to get exciting for me as a banker, because this is usually where you're actually interacting with this institution. You're not just banking there transactionally, you're starting to build something solid. So level three is relationship trust. We're talking about credit card and deposit history, time in the system, stable cash flow. This is where credit limit increase growth accelerates, like it starts to take off. This is where you start to crack 15, 20, 25,000 in credit card limits. Why do we even care about credit card limits? Why is there such hype around this? Functionally, not just media hype and clicks and views on YouTube and Instagram. Functionally, when it comes to wealth creation, credit card limits and what banks extend to you is a litmus test of how much they trust you. That's really what it's about. It's not the limits in themselves, because most of us are never going to spend $20, $30, and $40,000 a month to make those limits make sense and get some kind of crazy reward benefits. What we are getting is a gauge of how comfortable that institution is and how eager to do business with us. Because now, if you're trusting me with $20,000 or $30,000 a month and spend, then what is it for you to give me a $50,000 line of credit to go out and start my business or acquire some property? You see where I'm going with this? So level three is important. Again, credit card and deposit history, time in the system, stable cash flow. This is where credit limit increases start to take off. Level four is leverage trust. Trust level four is leverage. Now you've likely graduated or at least have high level access to the flagship credit card. You have large credit limits. We're talking 2025 plus thousand in limits. You get fast approvals. You're able to get answers immediately or within the same business day. This is where Navy Federal magic really starts to happen. You go to them, they request less documentation, faster approvals, more attractive terms when you start to use leverage with them. This is where it starts to get good. And Navy Federal is not very favorable for the business side. Let me be abundantly clear. But if you can use them, as I've promoted them for years on this channel, as a fundamental platform of a credible institution that you have great access to, they unlock and build the reputation you need in the eyes of other institutions that do have those other tools, which is where this video sequence is going next. So we needed you to tune into the next set of videos. But this is where it opens those 4 levels of trust. So again, we have our basic level, we have our behavioral level, we have our relationship level, and we have our leverage level. Those are the 4 levels of trust that Navy Federal is using to determine your internal score and determine the level of access they're going to get you. So how does this impact the wealth gap? Let's tie this in a little bit on a broader level. Navy Federal isn't unfair. It's a pattern-driven institution, just like most banks are. People with inconsistent income or unstable cash flow get delayed. Navy Federal has an open mind. We have data points showing that they can be favorable still on some level, even when you don't have the best financials. But if you have inconsistent income or unstable cash flow, you're not going to get that maximum level of access. It's just not going to happen. There's also positions you to move faster in compounding these advantages. So if you position yourself properly with the right behavioral mechanisms, if you're functioning consistent, your income is stable, you're not overdrawing your account, as I always talk about, you're showing healthy cash flow management. Now you're positioning yourself to move faster and compound the advantages Navy Federal is going to offer to you. So what I tell my own clients that are operating with Navy Federal, right? This is how I would consult with them. Don't rush products, build behavior first. So don't try to sequence out a bunch of credit cards at one time with Navy Federal. Don't try to branch out to a bunch of applications. I'm going to get 2 credit cards, an auto loan, and a line of credit all in 5 or 6 months. Don't do that. Find yourself a sequence. Start a healthy deposit relationship and relax for 60 days to 90 days. Maybe if they're promoting to you or they're starting to give you some kind of indication that they're comfortable, maybe you dive into your first credit card with them between 90 days and 5 months or so. Then you keep graduating yourself out. This is a game of patience and consistency. We're not looking to run up the scoreboard and burn out early. That's not what we're looking to do. The next thing I say, time and consistency beats tricks. Navy Federal has been very popular on the internet, and a lot of hacks and how to get in with them, the products to use, all these different little tricks and hacks to try to scale a relationship as fast as you possibly can. You're going to burn yourself out early, and you're going to start to look like a high-risk client or member. In the short run, 3 months, 6 months, in that first stretch of time, you'll start to look as if, you figured something out with them. But you're going to start burning yourself out by having erratic behavior, and you're going to start to tank your internal score with Navy Federal. That's not what you want. So one strong relationship outperforms 5 weak ones. Building a strong, balanced, consistent, enduring relationship with Navy Federal beats out a sequence hack of, vertical or horizontal applying with 5 different institutions and getting a card from each one. And listen, do you want short-term results or long-term success? Simple question. So Navy Federal isn't different from other banks. They're just more transparent once you know what they're looking for. How you function with Navy Federal is going to be the same fundamental premise that you want to apply to different financial institutions. Their products are different. Their strong points are different. But ultimately, the cadence, pace, and strategy is the same. And the next video we're going into is going to dive further into this. We're going to look at another financial institution in the next video and break down what it looks like to grow from the ground up all the way up to the maximum level of access with that financial institution. So stay tuned. Comment down below and let me know how you've leveraged your relationship with Navy Federal. Where did you start? How did you progress? And where are you now? Comment down below. I know a lot of you, especially on my channel, love Navy Federal, not just for the clicks and views and the excitement, but you actually bank with them and have gotten great value from them. So comment down below and just give me a quick timeline on where you started, how you progressed, and where it's gotten you. To all my pioneers, welcome back. To my new viewers, welcome in. I want you to get in the description section down below, tying with me on Instagram and TikTok. I also want you to like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel so the channel can continue to support you. For those of you who may be new to the channel and have stuck it out this long, I'm a career banker by trade, 14 plus years in the industry as a banker and a financial services professional. I have a state mortgage loan originator's license, life insurance license, FINRA investment license, and I'm a small business banker as well. So you're getting this content from somebody who helps clients and individuals just like you apply these strategies to build wealth with the institution I work for and anywhere else that's strategic for them. I don't stop at where I work. I help them build wealth and get their access levels up at different institutions all over the country. So you're getting this information from somebody who's in the field doing the real deal. So other than that, I want each and every one of you to stay focused, stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.